You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Monday, October 22nd, 2018. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. Terror for a Pembroke family as gunmen opened fire on their residence shortly before midnight last night. Fortunately, there were no injuries. This is the fourth confirmed firearms incident in 4 weeks, all of which police say were gang-related. Gary Moreno has that story.
One resident of the area telling Bermuda Broadcasting News they heard several loud explosions in quick succession shortly after 11:45 last night. A preliminary investigation revealed 16 bullet holes in the walls, we're told, and windows of a nearby house. A house which was occupied at the time of the brazen act of violence, which police have confirmed as gang-related. Among the occupants were 2 elderly people, one of whom is vision impaired and is on dialysis. One of the bullets, we're told, struck a wall just above a sofa where that individual is often seated. We're told as well several bullets were fired into a bedroom of the residence where it was thought their intended target was asleep. A relative of the family who lives in the targeted property was killed by gunmen during an attack back in January 2013 at a nearby convenience store. The occupants of the home are now understandably concerned for their own safety in light of last night's attack. As we stated previously, this is the 4th confirmed firearm incident in the Pembroke area in recent weeks. The first occurred on Roberts Avenue shortly before midnight on Thursday, September 20th, resulting in 1 man being shot and injured. The second was recorded at Friswell's Hill sometime around 10:40 p.m. Tuesday, October 2nd. That was followed by another on Curving Avenue at around 9:40 p.m. on Sunday, October 14th, and then there was last night's attack. There were no reported injuries in these last 3 incidents. These shootings have resulted in increased police patrols in the affected areas, yet the gun violence persists and even appears to be on the increase.
The police can't be everywhere every time, so we are trying to, as much as possible, outside of the regular coastal service that we do get, we are trying as much as possible to populate the areas with a high police presence.
Reports indicate residents in the affected areas heard multiple gunshots in rapid succession at the time these shootings occurred. Could it be then that the perpetrators are now using more powerful weapons?
There's a lines of inquiry that we're actively looking into, and we will base that based on our forensic evidence and see what lines of inquiry develop from that.
But is there any suspicion that perhaps a more high-powered rapid-fire weapon is being used in these latest incidents?
As I said, that's something that we have to consider in our line of inquiry. We will definitely keep that in mind and in consideration.
Another new trend is that the shootings are beginning to threaten the safety and well-being of individuals who are not linked to gangs and drugs, as was the case last night.
First of all, we have to say that when we start seeing innocent persons being targeted or somewhat directly or indirectly involved in these shootings, it does cause concern. And we're doing everything we can to reassure the community that we are treating these incidents very seriously, especially now that they're moved into isolated neighborhoods. So we just want to assure them that we are, following all lines of inquiry and taking these matters very, very seriously.
Elsewhere, the residents we spoke with in the aftermath of the shooting at Happy Valley Lane last night say the violence has interrupted the peace of their usually quiet neighborhood. They told us they feel things have now been taken to a frighteningly new level, as anyone could have been hit. One person suggesting those responsible for last night's events should think long and hard about the consequences of their actions, not only for themselves, but for those who could become the unintended targets of these senseless acts of violence. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thank you, Gary. Well, if you have any information, Chief Inspector Arthur Glassford can be reached at the Serious Crime Unit on 247-1174. Alternatively, anonymous calls can be made to the independent and confidential Crime Stoppers hotline at 800-8477. And anonymous tips can be sent via the Crime Stoppers Bermuda website at www.crimestoppers.bm. In other news, a Canadian woman serving 7 years in prison for importing fentanyl, a deadly synthetic opioid, had her sentence reduced by 2.5 years by the Court of Appeal. Jasmine Patterson has the details.
27-year-old Jacqueline Robinson admitted to ingesting a handful of pellets containing the drug, which she believed to be cannabis, before a flight to Bermuda from Toronto in December 2016. Robinson managed to retrieve 44 out of the 45 pellets ingested, but one ruptured and she received treatment at hospital for nearly overdosing. She is serving 7 years imprisonment for her role in the drug smuggling conspiracy after pleading guilty in July 2017. The man she claimed had forced her to swallow the pellets, Craig Lawrence, was cleared of conspiring to import the controlled drug. That sentence was at a discount given that she had shown genuine remorse, her early guilty plea, good character, low risk of reoffending, and the extent of her personal responsibility in the crime. However, the Court of Appeal accepted the application to consider a further reduction, given her cooperation in the prosecution of others allegedly involved in the crime and assisting the investigation. It is standard practice that once a defendant shows willingness to give evidence for the Crown against another person involved, they're eligible for a discount when sentenced in Bermuda. The court ruled that she had not been given sufficient credit for her assistance, and her sentence was substituted for 5.5 years imprisonment for that of 7 years. They added that the defendant is lucky that fentanyl is not classified in the Schedule 5 list of controlled drugs, along with cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine, which attracts a harsher penalty. A second man, Maurice Martin, charged with a conspiracy to smuggle the drugs into Bermuda and conspiracy to supply the fentanyl, was also cleared of any wrongdoing. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And we'll have more for you after this short break, including the latest weather news. Stay with us.
I didn't order this one. This is the wrong item.
What? These are the wrong size.
I wanted white pants for the white party.
These are way too big. Oh my gosh, this is not what I ordered.
Finally in Bermuda, announcing Mailboxes Unlimited's Internet Return Hub. Now for an 85% savings, no matter how you brought your items into Bermuda, you can return your items back to the U.S. easily. Mailboxes Unlimited's Internet Return Hub. Stop by today.
At Big Savings Zone, we believe your children deserve a happy space to call their own, full of color and excitement, where their imagination can take flight from fun to functional. We have a delightful selection of kids' furniture built with the same quality that you've come to know and trust at our everyday low prices. Create a room that your little ones will love only at Big Savings Zone. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Located in the Commercial Park, Southside, St. David's. Call 297-4440 or click BigSavingsZone.com. Big Savings Zone, making your house a home.
At ProServe, we've got mail. Did you know at ProServe, we handle over 150,000 mail pieces per month. We have a full mail handler's license, secure, centrally located facilities, state-of-the-art digital printing, insertion, franking, and tracking systems. Even full mailroom operations management, along with experienced staff and the reliability to get your job done right. So whether the job is large or small, by hand or sprint pickup delivery, daily, weekly, monthly, or a one-off project, we've got you covered from start to finish with email confirmation. At ProServe, we've got mail. Call 295-7619 or visit proserve.bm and let's get it started.
Welcome back. Well, as we reported he would be, Dennis Pimentel has been appointed president of Belco and is now responsible for all operational responsibilities. Dennis started as a Belco apprentice in 1989 and has progressed through the ranks of the company during the last 29 years. Sources telling Bermuda Broadcasting News this development is part of the agreement which saw Belco workers abandon strike action and return to their jobs following a meeting between Premier David Burt and all parties involved with the impasse at the company. It is understood the cessation of the strike action was dependent on the removal of Ascendant CEO Sean Durfee from the day-to-day operations at Belco. However, asked to confirm or deny this, a spokesperson for the Ascendant company, the parent company of Belco, declined comment. In other news, Transport Minister Walter Urban tonight hitting back at OBA criticism that the island's buses are on life support with continued bus cancellations despite new buses being added to the fleet. Coming hard against the government recently was MP Leah Scott, who's also the deputy leader of the OBA. She called for a new bus schedule to be implemented. Troy Trott spoke with the minister, who points the finger at the former OBA government.
Bermuda's pink and blue, one of the island's most iconic figures. But the service has been in decline over a number of years due to a lack of staff and maintenance. Leah Scott, the Shadow Minister for Tourism, Transport and Regulatory Affairs, recently questioned the continued rate of bus cancellations despite new staff at the Department of Public Transportation, the DPT, and additional buses to the fleet.
The availability of personnel and availability of resources.
But Walter Robam, the Deputy Premier and Minister for Transport and Regulatory Affairs, says government is doing everything it can to turn the situation around, a situation, he reminds Ms. Scott, his PLP government inherited last year.
These challenges in the main, in a significant measure, were not addressed by the previous government, and they starved the system of the resources to address them.
The Deputy Premier not at all happy with some of the messaging contained in Ms. Scott's statement on the matter where it concerned DPT staff.
I also find it rather shameful that in her release she implied that some of the challenges with DPT are related to the workers who work there. They are hardworking people. I am honored to work with them.
The Ministry of Finance in the current fiscal year has committed nearly $10 million to buses, with $1.5 million already spent on 4 buses.
We have completed and will be receiving additional buses between now, starting in December, and becoming next summer 8 additional buses.
With the cost of buses for Bermuda at $300,000 per bus, the government is looking at ways to lower the purchasing price.
One thing has to be understood is that our buses are custom made for Bermuda. That has been one of the issues that has contributed to the cost. Because of our size of our roads and our engine capacity, it was not easy in the past to buy something off the shelf. That has changed.
Elsewhere, Roger Todd, the new director of the DPT, emphasizing that a proposed new bus schedule, which was obtained by Bermuda Broadcasting News last week and which cuts the number of operating buses from 88 to 50, is not meant to be a permanent fix.
We're not making any move toward reducing our commitment to having a quality public bus service. Currently, demand is outstripping our ability to supply. So this is a necessary measure in order for us to be able to regroup, to sustain ourselves.
The proposed schedule reduces some off-peak operating frequencies and eliminates underutilized routes, and must first get approval before being implemented.
It's not part of the CBA for the schedule to be ratified if the hours of operation for the shop aren't changing. However, in practice, this schedule will impact our operators, our staff, their livelihood, the way we manage the service, and for that reason it's necessary and appropriate that we have this level of consultation with our staff.
And of course, that was our Tarai Trott reporting. In other news, the regulatory authority is urging the public to give their input on Bermuda's long-term electricity plan by extending the consultation period. In October, the public were invited to make submissions on the island's integrated resource plan, which determines how Bermuda is powered. The period to provide feedback is now extended to November the 30th at the request of industry stakeholders. There are 8 alternative energy generation proposals that were submitted to the regulatory authority, including an offshore wind farm, liquid natural gas, and wave energy park. Aaron Smith, the regulatory authority's interim CE, says he's pleased to see a high level of interest in the important document and adds, quote, "The more information, public discussion, and feedback there is, the better the final plan will be." Submit your response online before November 30th at rab.bm/electricity-public-consultations. Turning to weather news, some clouds and cooler temperatures today. Let's go to AccuWeather headquarters to see what conditions we can expect for the rest of our week.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and here we are on Monday. Hopefully you had a fantastic weekend. They always go way too fast, and we had a couple of showers yesterday, all thanks to a cold front that has been making progress. You can actually still make it out here, and behind the cold front, what we've been having is high pressure building in, but that cold front did bring a shot of some cooler air, also dropping our dew points, so not quite as sticky of an air mass as what we've seen as of late. As we look at our satellite here, you can see that we do have a couple of patchy clouds out there, and that has been keeping our temperatures down today, only in the low 70s. We're typically in the upper 70s for daytime highs this time of year, so we are running a little bit cooler than normal. Our humidity between 60 and 65%. Winds are coming in out of the northeast, 10 to 15 knots, so just a little bit breezy outside. The water still nice and warm in the upper 70s. We don't have too many issues out on the water right now. Waves inside the reef for this Monday night between 1 and 2 feet. Outside of the reef, of course, a little bit more choppy out there with them running between 4 and 9 feet. Now, as we head into tonight and also as we head into Tuesday, there could be a couple of instability showers. We're not expecting any significant rain. Temperature-wise, 67 for your low, partly cloudy and breezy with a shower in spots for tonight. We did have a small craft warning that did expire early this evening, and as we continue into the next few hours, you can see our tidal times right over here. We have high tide coming in at 8 o'clock tonight, and then our low tide coming in just before 2:15 on Tuesday morning. And for your Tuesday, we'll get some breaks of sunshine temperature-wise, getting into the mid to upper 70s during the afternoon hours. Still a little bit breezy outside. And again, we will allow for a shower or two in the area. So here's a look at our futurecast as we head into the next couple of days. That dominant area of high pressure starting to nudge its way a little bit closer to us. We'll still be under the influence of that northeasterly breeze, so still a little bit breezy tonight and also into your Tuesday. And then the next thing that we'll be watching for is yet another cold front that'll be making some progress off the East Coast for the middle and later half of the week. If you're looking for some other forecasts here, we do have some current conditions for Jamaica, Barbados, and also Trinidad. A couple of tropical waves to our south, so we are seeing an uptick of the showers and thunderstorms, including there in Jamaica. Look at that. A hot 90 degrees right now. No tropical development here in the Atlantic. Bit more active out toward the Pacific right now. Hey, if you're heading back home into areas like New York City, Boston, a couple of spotty showers as we take you into your Tuesday. Very similar to our forecast. Spotty showers on Tuesday, and then into Wednesday and Thursday, we'll watch that frontal boundary make some progress here. Behind the front, a little bit cooler by Friday, but clouds and sunshine, and a sneak peek of the forecast this weekend could bring a few showers.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
I was diagnosed with illness. Very frightening because my son had just turned 1 and it was a cancer. So I'm young, new baby, and I needed to get the care that I knew would be definitive so that I wanted to be around for him for a very long time. I got in contact with BF&M, and BF&M was able to commit at that time to doing at least 50%, so we were comfortable, okay, well, we're gonna go. We got off the plane, actually, the day of the procedure, and on my way to the limo, my case manager called and she says, Kiana, we got it, you're covered at 100%. And I cried all the way to the office because I was just so happy. The BF&M difference is that I really felt that the case manager really was concerned about my overall care, and because of that, I really appreciated them. I think that personal care, that willingness to listen, and then to work until they were able to get it so that I could get full coverage really made the difference for me.
From the very beginning, it was always our singular focus to do whatever it takes, use every possible resource to fight cancer, and never lose sight of the patients we're fighting for. Our cancer treatment specialists share the same vision. Experts from all over the world working closely together to deliver truly personalized cancer care. And these are the specialists we're proud to call our own. Expert medicine works here. Learn more at cancercenter.com. Appointments available now.
Bassett, custom designs by you at Furniture Walk. So, how do you like it? Choose your arm style, then select your pieces. Special order exactly what you want. Your style, your way. Sofa, love seat, chair, sectional, you name it. Bassett, your style, your way at Furniture Walk.
Win a trip or two to the 2019 Trinidad Carnival. When you purchase a car from Bermuda Motors, your name will be entered into a draw for a chance to win an all-expenses-paid trip for two, including flights, accommodation, and tickets to the Trinidad Carnival. Visit Bermuda Motors on Church Street or bermudamotors.bm.
Through the lens, look out, focus in is the theme of this year's Mindframe Photo Voice exhibition, which is on at the Bermuda Society of Arts for the service users of Mid-Atlantic Wellness Institute, whose work is on display. It turns out perspective is all relative.
Creative expression is a part of what makes us human, and therapists have long championed art as a healing tool. Hazel noticed her fast-paced lifestyle was catching up with her, so she sought support from psychologists at MWI's outpatient clinic.
During some of the sessions that I had, I was identified that I have a creative part of my personality, which I think I've always known that, but for someone else to just meet me and go, hey, you know what, this Mindframes program is coming up, it's, you know, it's all about art, and it's something that I think you would kind of fit into. Would you give it a try? And I was like, an opportunity to play with paint? Why wouldn't I want to do that?
The exhibition was an opportunity to reconnect with her inner self. She's found solace in artwork as a way to cope with stress.
Some of the things that I do are I make jewelry, I have a bath, I have a hot coffee, I turn off all the noise in my house, and what I used to do was some art, drawing, and poetry, which I hadn't done in a long time. So this was actually fun because I have a gazillion paints and a gazillion canvases, and it was like, I get to pull all this stuff out and do it, and it just kind of helped me escape.
Hazel submitted jewelry, crafts, and painting for this year's exhibition, drawing inspiration from the theme itself.
Depending on how you look at things, how your perspective is, how you feel at the time when you're looking at something, where you are and how you're looking at it, you will have a whole different vision, and all of those are actually lenses, and they're all inside your mind.
A range of materials are used depending on the artist's tastes, from photography, paints, drawing, and even poetry. The Mindframe Photo Voice exhibition is in its 13th year, helping to destigmatize mental illness in the community.
I think that is Mindframe's biggest claim to fame, is the fact that anyone could participate and express themselves, and in turn educate the community and be catalysts for positive change.
Hazel believes awareness is growing around the subject of mental health.
It's not relevant until it applies to you. So I'm not saying that it made it any easier, but it made me want to say to other people, wait a minute, it's not as taboo as people make it seem like it is. Everybody could have something wrong with them at any given time. You could lose a family member, go through grief, and just can't pull yourself out of it. And that's a mental health issue for the time that that's an issue for you. That doesn't mean that there's always something wrong with you, though.
The exhibition is open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. weekly, and on Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. upstairs of City Hall.
Thanks, Jasmine. We'll still the Cumberland Basin. We'll have all the latest sports news in just a few minutes. We'll be back in a few.
Surface Terms has been serving Bermuda for over 25 years, supplying and installing tile and natural stone. We have a large in-stock selection of beautiful porcelain wood planking, including our exclusive Bermuda cedar tile. You will also find Bermuda's best in-stock selection of countertops, including natural granites, exotic quartzites, and silestone engineered quartz in all the newest colors. Our team will be happy to help you. Stop by our showroom at 17 Serpentine Road or give us a call at 295-8005.
Hello, I am Dr. Leonard Gibbons, the Health Ministries Director for Bermuda Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. We're hosting a free medical and lifestyle clinic for our community, especially those of you who haven't had a health evaluation in a long time. It would take place on Sunday, October the 28th from 12 to 5 p.m. at the Hamilton Youth Center on King Street, Hamilton. Our health partners for this free event include Premier Health and Wellness Center, Atlantic Vision Care, In Touch Therapy, Hope Health Care, Arches Dental, North Shore Medical and Aesthetics, staff from Bermuda Hospitals Board, the Department of Health, and Bermuda Wellness and Outreach Center. In addition to seeing 6 different health professionals, including a medical doctor, you complete a personal healthy lifestyle profile and taste delicious healthy foods. To pre-register, call 292-4110.
Meet Bermuda pharmacists Ashley and Sean. They have completed a 5-year degree course in postgraduate training and are experts in medicines. Ashley, Sean, and their colleagues are here for you at your local pharmacy. To receive their advice, you don't need an appointment and you won't be kept waiting. For a skin rash to upset stomach, your pharmacist can help and may be able to provide medicines for minor illnesses without you having to see your doctor. And you will find a pharmacy open evenings, weekends, and holidays too. So next time, ask your pharmacist. This message is from the Bermuda Pharmaceutical Association.
Turning to sports, 2 Bermuda triathletes compete in Ecuador. Saltis goes down in a football final in Canada, and Bermuda had 3 riders hitting high speeds overseas. Earl Baisden has it all in tonight's sports report.
Tyler Smith and Erica Hawley competed in the ITU World Cup Triathlon event in Ecuador.
Hawley finished 39th overall in the elite female division. She was clocked in a time of 1:00:24. Hawley was clocked at 9:49 on the swim, 30:11 on the bike course before closing out with a run course time of 18:33. Smith finished 41st in the men's elite field, 1 minute and 39 seconds behind the winner. Smith was clocked at 54 minutes flat. He recorded a time of 9:13 on the swim, 27:22 on the bike, and then 15:44 on the run course. Saltis Grammar School's under-13s lost in the finals of the Canadian Association of Independent Schools tournament in Ontario, Canada to St. George School. The score remained deadlocked 0-0 at halftime, but St. George would score 2 unanswered goals in the second half to claim the tournament honors. Earlier, Saltis advanced to the final after they had defeated the Upper Canada College on kicks from the penalty mark in the semi-final. The kicks would go through 8 kickers before Saltis won 4-3. Dakari White was back in action competing in Spain. Day 2 was much better than day 1 that had rained during the 600cc racing. White would finish 17th overall after the 2 days of racing. Jair Mitchell and Kaijan Simons competed in the 42nd annual Kawasaki Race of Champions in New Jersey. Both riders won a division. Mitchell stood on top of the podium in the 250 Pro Expert A class after riding to victory in both motos. He would also be on the podium in the 450 Open Expert A class, finishing 2nd overall, this after finishing the first moto in 3rd place, and then he would finish 2nd in the 2nd moto. Simons would finish 3rd in the 250 Novice C class. With 3 motos, Simons finished 4th in the first moto, 5th in the 2nd, and 3rd in the final. He would then win the 450 Open Novice C class, where he would finish 3rd in the first moto, 2nd in the 2nd, and would win the final moto of the class. In Premier Division football action yesterday, after a scoreless first half at the PHC Stadium, the PHC Zebras would take the lead in the 60th minute when Jaheim Iris scored against Crossroads. But league-leading goal scorer Donovan Thompson would equalize for Crossroads 5 minutes later. With the final kick of the game, Trey Ming would stun the visitors with a bicycle kick that found the back of the net for the PHC Zebras win and remain undefeated, while Crossroads suffered their first defeat of the season, going down 2-1. In other Premier Division action yesterday, it was Devonshire Cougars 0, Paget Lions 0, Boulevard Blazers 0, Robin Hood 3, Dandytown Hornets 0, North Village Rams 1. And on Saturday night at the Somerset Cricket Club, it was the Somerset Trojans 3, BAA 3. In the top of the table First Division clash, Somerset Eagles defeated Hamilton Parish 2-1 at the Whitehill Field. Somerset Eagles will get goals from Ethan Fubler and Leo Burgess, while Shaquem Oldboy would score the lone goal for Hamilton Parish. In other First Division action, it was St. George's Colts 1, Young Man Social Club 2, Island Rangers 2, Vasco 2, St. David's 2, Wolves 0, Devonshire Colts 2, Flanagan's Onions 0. Daniel Phillips traveled with the Rafa Nadal Academy coaches and team to compete in a Grade 1 Tennis Europe Yellow Bowl Tennis Championships in Spain. Phillips has made it through the 3 qualifying rounds and will take his place in the under-14 64 main draw. Phillips, playing in his first round qualifying match, defeated Alfredo Eslinger from Spain in straight sets 6-1, 6-love. In his second round match, Phillips defeated Dennis Dutton from Germany, who was the 4th ranked player in the qualifiers, in straight sets 7-5, 7-6. Phillips would then take on Jonathan Harwood from Great Britain in the final qualifying round, and Phillips would defeat Harwood in straight sets 6-1, 6-2. The
Bermuda Pilot Gig Club hosted the Argus International Gig Regatta in the St. George's Harbor. The Salty Siren from Bermuda took the ladies' honors for the day, with the East End Gigglers also representing Bermuda second. The Cote Rum Runners out of the UK finished in third. A Bermuda team called the Wonderstroke took the line honors in the men's division. A mixture of rowers from both UK and Bermuda, making up the Stragglers, finished second. Team Jurassic finished third out of the UK. The Bermuda Netball Association's 2018-19 season got underway with day one of the Sylvia Eastleigh Senior Netball Tournament. The event started with a well-organized shooting competition that was won by Charlene Gomez from the Lyndhurst Tigers, hitting 9 out of her 10 shots. The Lyndhurst Tigers would win the team event, going 16 of 20. Finishing second was the Storm Thunder, hitting 13 of 20, and third went to Storm Lightning, who hit 10 of 20. I'm Earl Basden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Thanks, Earl. Well, that's all from the news team for the moment. I'm Diane Brewer. Thank you for sharing your Monday evening with us, everyone. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Good night.